Hello everyone and welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Matt, and in today's video I thought we would do something really fun, and that is rank some plant genuses, and it's gonna be a tier list style ranking. I actually got this idea from one of Kaylee Allen's recent videos. She basically ranked heart-shaped leafed plants, and I thought it would be really cool if I did something similar, but ranking actual genuses. So I have 12 genuses on my list, and I have multiple plants from every genus in my collection. I didn't want to include genuses where I only have like maybe 1 or 2 specimens in my collection, because that doesn't really give me an image of how the whole genus behaves. And obviously within a genus there is so much variety. Like within the same genus, some plants can be really difficult and some plants will be very easy. But this is just kind of like my general opinion, and we're gonna be ranking them from A being the best to F being the worst. And I actually named the categories because I thought that would be fun. Plants in category A are Work Mama Boots the House Down, because those plants are everything. They are giving everything, they're legendary, and they will not disappoint you. Category B is called Pop Off Sis, because these are plants that are really popping off and they are stunning, but maybe not reaching the height of their potential quite yet. Spot C is meh, just plants that are just that, meh. They are okay plants, they're not bad, they're not great, they're just kind of middle of the road. Nothing wrong with that. D stands for You in Danger Girl, because these plants are 1 foot out the door. And then finally, the category F is, of course, Wish You Well. Inhale, because these plants are driving me insane, and literally I'm holding them above the compost like this, and just like literally just about to let go, and let them meet their creator. If that sounds fun to you, grab yourself a cozy beverage, a little snack, and let's get going. Also, just a little disclaimer, this is just my opinion as always. So if you like a certain plant group that I am maybe not so fond of, that is completely fine, and vice versa. If you hate a group that I love, I would actually love to hear your rankings in the comment section below. So yeah, after you watch this video, definitely give me your rankings. But without further ado, let's get the party started. No particular order, I'm just gonna go randomly, and let's start with Dracaenas. And in this category I'm putting in my Dracaenas and my Sansevierias, since those were recently, or like a couple of years ago, reclassified as Dracaena. So I'm just grouping them all together, and they are gonna go in the C tier, the meh tier, because they're just that, honestly. Like, they're fine. They are very pretty plants. I don't have any problems on the whole with that genus. Like, there are no pest issues. I rarely get root rot on them. So usually they are a pretty easy plant. However, they are just kind of boring. Like, they take a lot of time to grow, and you don't necessarily see the growth. Now, don't get me wrong. I have plants in this genus that I absolutely love, like my Sansevieria metallica or my Sansevieria moonshine. I love those plants. Like, I'm not saying that this is a bad genus. I'm just saying that it doesn't tickle my fancy. It doesn't tickle my fancy as some of the other plants on this list. And for that reason, I just cannot place it above C tier. However, they're definitely nowhere near the D or F tier, because they're still very reliable and low maintenance plants. They would be in the B category just if they maybe grew a little bit faster, maybe. But then again, that could also be like a problem on my part, because maybe I'm not just giving them good enough conditions for them to grow. But yeah, I think C is like a good starting point. I mean, it's not great and it's not terrible. I think a C is perfectly acceptable. So Dracaenas, meh. Next up, we have Hoyas, and of course, this is, I mean, Work Mama Boots the House Down. Come on. Hoyas, they're so cute, they are adorable, they are generally low maintenance, They are generally pest resilient, and I just love them. Okay, I have recently uncovered my love for Hoyas, and now I just want to collect them all like freaking Pokemon. Like, I need every single Hoya in my collection. They are so stunning, beautiful, and they bloom, and the blooms, oh my god. I didn't think I was a bloom person, but honestly, there's just something so special and so cute about Hoya blooms. I know Hoyas are kind of like, you either love them or you hate them. So I do understand both sides. I understand when somebody just doesn't care for Hoyas because they are quite slow growing and they aren't maybe a rewarding plant to grow, because usually, you know, their leaves don't get like huge. And like I said, they do tend to grow slower, especially in lower light conditions. But I don't know, man. I just, there is something about Hoyas that brings me so much joy. It's the succulent leaves, and it's the fuzzy ones, y'all. The fuzzy ones. I love fuzzy Hoyas, and like the Hoya linearis. The Hoya linearis is one of my favorite plants in my whole collection, and it is such delight. It brings me so much joy. Whenever I'm feeling stressed out, I just walk over to my Hoya linearis and I give it a little stroke, and it just makes everything so much better. Like, it can cure any ailment because it's just so soft. Another one that I love is my Caudata Sumatra. That one is just so fuzzy, and I am in love with Hoyas. I also understand that some people don't like the blooms because they do look like clusters, or they are like clusters, so they can cause trypophobia for some people, and also some people just don't like the smell. Personally, I am not really smell sensitive. Like, most of the time I don't even notice a scent in a room. So to me, it's not a big issue, but I love Hoyas. They are probably currently my favorite genus, and it's a genus that I definitely want to get more into in 2025, and I definitely want to expand my Hoya collection. They do grow slower, so they stay smaller for a longer amount of time, so you can just put them on like a shelf or something, and it doesn't outgrow it, and it doesn't require a lot of space, like, for example, a climber would, or like a Monstera would. So I just A tier, absolute chef's kiss, no complaints. Now, of course, there are some Hoyas that are a little bit more finicky, but on the whole, the Hoyas in my collection are honestly pretty hardy. And if you're looking for like a hardy Hoya, I recommend the Crimson Princess, the Crimson Queen, even Linearis. Linearis is like a pretty hardy plant for me. The Australis Hoya is very hardy. The Bertonier is very hardy. So yeah, there is a lot of Hoyas that are very, very hardy and resilient. So I just love them. I love them so much. Next up, we're gonna be talking about ficuses, and ficuses are gonna get the D-list. They in danger, girl, because I don't know. I wanna love them. First of all, they're pest magnets. Okay, they are pest magnets. Second of all, they require really, really good conditions. Like, if you want to grow a nice ficus, whether it be an elastica, a fiddle leaf fig, whatever, they do require good conditions. They do require good light. Of course, they can survive in the lower lights. Like, I have my elastica in lower lights, I have my benjamina in lower light, and they're fine. Like, they're doing just okay, but they're just doing that. Okay, like, they're not thriving, they're not growing to their full potential. And I mean, if you think about it, these are trees. Like, these are actual freaking trees that we're trying to grow indoors. So they just require a lot of space, a lot of light, and yeah, I don't know. On the whole, I'm just like, I don't know. I want to love them more, but I don't know. I'm literally looking at my Ficus lyrata, the fiddle leaf fig right now, and it looks like trash. It literally looks like trash, and I am this close. I'm this close to throwing out that plant. But you know what? Since we are entering spring soon, I'm actually gonna probably chop off all the leaves and put it outside and let it regrow outside, and then just see how it will do. And I think that's something that I will do with all my ficuses. I'll just put them outside in the summer and let them do their thing, because honestly, I just don't have enough space inside, and I don't want to waste like my good lighting spots on plants that don't bring me so much joy, I guess. Now, there are obviously some ficuses that I love. I love my Tineke. I love the Triangularis, the variegated one. It is, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful houseplants ever, but it literally, I have it right here. I'll take it out. I'll take it out because I have to show you. This is pathetic. This is freaking pathetic. Like, this is literally, I had this plant for at least a year now. It hasn't grown in at all. I had it in soil for a long time. Then I transitioned it to semi-hydro in hopes that it will do better. And but it's so beautiful. Like, you're in danger, girl, okay? If this plant, I'll put this outside as well during the summer, but if this plant doesn't get her act together and start growing for me during the summer of 2025, mark my words, she is going in the compost, okay? She's going in the compost, and you and I, we're gonna do it together, okay? We're gonna take this plant and take it to the compost together, okay? So mark my words, and remind me at the end of the growing season. Ask me how this plant is doing, and if this plant isn't doing well, we're throwing it out because I'm done with it. I am done with it. Ficuses just, I don't know. I want to love them more, but unfortunately, I just have to put them in the D tier, so sorry. Next up, we're gonna be talking about Alocasias, and this one might be a little bit controversial because I love Alocasias. I do. I think they are stunning, gorgeous, beautiful. I love the way they grow. They are so easy to propagate. And I just love a healthy, nice looking Alocasia. If you've been on my channel, you know that I am obsessed with my Alocasia Frydek. It is absolutely the apple of my eye, another one of my favorites in my collection. I just find Alocasias so fun, so I have to put them in tier B, the pop of cis category, because they are just, to me, such stunning plants. And yes, I will say that they are challenging. They are quite challenging, can be quite finicky, but I find that once you figure them out and once you kind of get them growing well, the reward for it is just so satisfying, and they just bring me so much joy. So even if Ficus, we're not talking about Ficus anymore, even if an Alocasia is struggling, for me, it's kind of like a challenge. Like, I want to actually figure out what this plant wants and likes, and if I manage to do that, it makes me so incredibly happy. And I mean, there are so many Alocasia varieties. There is so much to choose from. There is literally a plant for everybody, like from the cool looking variegation on the Frydek to the cool leaf shape of the Tenderosa Jacqueline to the alien-like foliage of the Cuprea. Like, there's just so much variety within that genus, and I just think that they are stunning. They also come in such big size varieties, like you can get dwarf ones like the Silver Dragon, or you can get huge ones like the Alocasia Regal Shields. Like, there's just so much variety and so much fun differences within the genus. And don't get me even started on the freaking variegated ones that are coming out and that are becoming more and more available, like the pink black velvet, the variegated dragon scale. Like, oh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'm literally, oh, those plants, they're stunning. They are beautiful. I am literally just, I'm dreaming of the day that those plants become more available and cheap so I can just buy all of them because they are beautiful. And whenever I see like a beautiful variegated dragon scale, I'm drooling, okay? I'm drooling all over myself because that plant is just so beautiful. And I love Alocasias. Now, I will say they are a spider mite magnet. They are. And also, like I said, they can be a little bit finicky. So that's the reason that they are not in the A tier, but for me, they are just such a great plant. And I know probably a lot of you will not agree with that. Probably a lot of you would put Alocasias at the bottom of the ranking, which is obviously absolutely fine. But for me, I like a good challenge. I like a good challenge as long as the reward at the end gives me satisfaction. So Alocasias just, they get me. Next up, we're gonna be talking about Epipremnums, and I'm talking about your good old Apophos, your Cebu Blue, your Pinatums, you know, all of those Epipremnums. And that just has to be Work Mama Boots the House Down A tier because those plants are indestructible. They are stunning. They don't require a lot of care. They don't require fabulous conditions. They are drought tolerant. They can tolerate low light. They are just fabulous. They are very pest resilient and they come in such a large variety. From the regular box standard golden pothos, you have the marble pothos, you have the enjoy, the manjula, the albopinatum, the marble pinatum, the cebu blue. There is just so much variety within that species, and they are all just widely available at your local big box store, which is fabulous. I love a plant that's available, that's cheap, doesn't cost an arm and a leg, is super low maintenance, and actually looks beautiful. And I love how you can grow a pothos either like trailing and they will look absolutely beautiful while trailing, or you can grow them climbing and they actually get those really big, beautiful leaves. And I mean, I think a climbing Epipremnum is like one of the most breathtaking things ever. Like a nice, beautiful Manjula pothos is literally just, it's chef's kiss. And I love Epipremnums. I have quite a lot in my collection, and literally every single one has never given me any issues. Like they are all just so resilient. Even if I messed up and like rotted the roots or put them next to a plant that had pests or severely underwatered them, they really didn't care. And like I said, even if they got root rot, they would reroot easily. They're so easy to propagate, and I just love them. I just love them so much. I really think that we should kind of get back to the basics and appreciate those beginner basic plants a lot more, because while yes, all of those fun rare Anthuriums and Philodendrons and Monsteras are really cool, we have all of these beautiful plants that are literally available to us at all times for like a really good price, and I think we just need to cherish them more. So Epipremnum, A tier for me, no complaints on my part. Should we talk about the only genus that I have in the F tier? I think we should, because this plant genus, it deserves it. And I am letting you guess. Okay, take 5 seconds. I'm gonna give you 5 seconds, okay? Leave me in the comment section below what you think this genus is. It's Calatheas. It's Calatheas! It's Calatheas! It has to be Calatheas. I think Calatheas are like just universally hated. They're just a pain in the booty. They're such a pain. They are pest magnets. They love to rot. They love to get crispy edges. They require high humidity. They are just divas, like literally divas. And I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I literally wanna eradicate Calatheas from my collection, but there is just something beautiful about them. They are such beautiful plants. They have such stunning foliage, and literally the Calathea warshowitzii is one of my most like favorite looking plants ever. Like it just looks gorgeous. It has that velvety touch. It's so smooth. It's lovely, but it is a difficult plant, and I struggle with that plant so much. Another Calathea that I love is the Ornata, but same story. It's just kind of a struggle bus. Now, however, I will say that I think I am turning a leaf, pun intended, with my Ornata, and she's actually starting to grow and looking kind of nice. And I attribute that completely to semi-hydro. So I actually put my warshowitzii recently in semi-hydro. I have a video on that you can watch, and we're just gonna keep our fingers crossed that she does well. Now, I will say that there are definitely some Calatheas that are really resilient and that are really just not finicky at all. Like my rattlesnake Calathea is super drought tolerant, can tolerate low light. It does get crispy edges, but it's not nearly as bad as some of my other Calatheas that I had throughout the years. So honestly, the rattlesnake, I also know that the Orbifolia is quite easy. So again, there are just some plants in the genus that are pretty easy, but on the whole, I just wanna yeet them out the freaking window, okay? I just wanna yeet them. They piss me off. They piss me off. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way about Calatheas. I just wish they were easier because they are truly, truly beautiful. I mean, their foliage is just so stunning and I just wish they were easier to grow. I do. And I know I said I like a challenge, but honestly, those plants are just, they're just trauma. They're just trauma, nothing else. Okay, let's talk about the big girlies, okay? I have some Monstera here, so let's talk about Monsteras next. And they're gonna go in the pop-off cyst category. So, B tier for Monsteras. Now, you may be wondering why. Like, I'm literally surrounded by two beautiful, huge, gorgeous, stunning, sexy Monsteras. But the reason I'm putting them in B tier and not in A tier is because they are thrips magnets, okay? These plants are thrips magnets. I don't know what it is about this leaf. I don't know what it is, but thrips just love them. They love them so much. And I hate them. I hate them for it. Like, why? Like, it's such a gorgeous plant, but oh my god, the thrips, I cannot with thrips. And again, if you've been on my channel for any amount of time, you will know that thrips are my kryptonite, and I have been struggling with them pretty much since the beginning of my houseplant journey, and it's just one of those pests that I cannot get rid of. I cannot seem to get rid of thrips, and it is annoying. I mean, right now, I need some wood. I don't have any wood, knock on wood. Right now, things are under control and I don't really see a lot of thrips in my collection, but you know, this one, the Monstera Tycon, actually recently had them. So she still has like her treatment on the leaves. So yeah, I don't know, thrips, it's the freaking thrips. And the second reason that they are also not in A tier is just because of the space and light they require. Obviously, these are huge, giant plants, and we love them for it. We love giant, big plants, don't we? We love them big over here. Sometimes it can be a little bit too big, okay? And you don't know how to handle it. So I feel like that's kind of a problem with Monsteras. Once they get huge, they are quite a space commitment. They take up a lot of space, and in order to keep that gorgeous big size, they require a lot of light. So for those two reasons, they're not quite making it to the A tier, even though they deserve the A tier because they are just stunning plants. I think a Monstera is such a classic leaf shape. It's so iconic. It's such a statement plant. Like, I don't think a collection is complete without at least one Monstera. Personally, I would recommend the Tycon because I think the Tycon is the most beautiful out of all of them. But I have the Tycon, I have the regular Deliciosa, and I have an Albo, and I love all of them equally. So yeah, it's just the thrips and the space commitment. But overall, Monsteras, absolutely love them. Since we're on the letter M, might as well talk about Marantas. I only have 2 Marantas in my collection right now, but I used to have 4 of them, 2 of them croaked. So they're gonna go in the C tier. They are not as difficult as Calatheas, so they don't deserve the F tier. And I think they are beautiful. I think they're stunning. Their growth pattern is really nice. They are a spider mite magnet. They do tend to get crispy edges, and sometimes, like, because Marantas have like those really, really thin stems, sometimes they will actually break. So yeah, and they aren't always the easiest to propagate. I find that sometimes Maranta propagations are really, really successful, and sometimes they just rot. Sometimes they just melt. So in my personal opinion, Marantas are kind of neither here nor there, because if they're healthy and nice looking, they are stunning, beautiful, like my lemon lime currently and my variegated Maranta. They're both looking absolutely gorgeous, bushy, stunning, and I love them. But they weren't always looking like that. It's the kind of plant that really needs to establish in order to look good. However, once it does look good, it's such a nice bushy statement piece in any collection, and it just adds something different. And I really actually like just how consistent the leaf size is. They can also tolerate quite low light. So yeah, they're lovely plants, but they just don't do it for me 100%. So C tier it is for Marantas. Let's talk about Scindapsus. And Scindapsus for me are B tier. Scindapsus, they are pretty much similar to Epipremnums. but I find that they have a lot more cool like variety when it comes to the leaf coloring. I have my Scindapsus exotica over here. You can see it behind the Monstera. Maybe if I... Can you see it? I have that one, I have my Nearly Black, I have my Moonshine, and I have my Platinum, and they all just look really, really different. And I just love the coloring of those plants. However, they aren't as easy as Epipremnum. They aren't as easy as Epipremnum, and you can't really grow them in the same way as you do with Epipremnums, because I feel like Epipremnums, when you're like trailing them, they look really nice, they look really bushy. Scindapsuses can look a little bit leggy, like they can look a little bit leggy and their leaves get really, really small, and they just are a little bit harder to keep that nice bushy look. And also they are climbers in nature, but unlike Epipremnums, their leaves actually don't size up and they stay kind of the same size because they are actually a shingling plant. And to me, I'm just not really a fan of a shingling plant. Now, if I had like a wall that was facing like a big window and that I could just train Scindapsus to climb or to shingle up that wall, I think that would look stunning. But unfortunately, I don't have that set up. So for me, all of my Scindapsus are currently trailing. I did think about maybe putting one on a moss pole just to try it, but maybe I should put them in the seat here actually, now that I'm kind of talking about them. You know what? Let's put them in the seat tier. I'm changing my mind. I'm changing my mind because there's way too many cons. Like there's way too many cons. However, I will say that they are really good at showing you when they need water. They like start curling and they are pretty drought tolerant and on the whole pretty pest resilient. They can tolerate lower light, but they definitely grow a lot worse than Epipremnum in lower light. So yeah, C tier. They deserve C tier. They don't deserve B tier. Like no, C. C for Scindapsus. Next, we're gonna talk about the last A tier genus, and it's gonna be, drum rolls please, Aglaonemas. And I know this might be quite surprising because they're kind of like just whatever, but to me, Aglaonemas are so stunning. They're literally the more pretty version of Calatheas, but they're also the much easier version of Calatheas. They are very low light tolerant. They are very drought tolerant. They are very pest resilient. And I have nothing bad to say about Aglaonemas. They are beautiful. They're just stunning. Now, I will say that maybe because they are so easy and because they grow so well, there isn't really that challenge aspect. And so the growth itself isn't as rewarding as it potentially could be, but I cannot complain. Like I cannot complain about the Aglaonema. I can literally not find a single fault in like Aglaonemas. I have the Silver Bay, I have the Pictum Tricolor, I have the Diamond Bay, I have the Cutlass, I have the Maria, and all of them are just doing beautifully in pretty low light. Like the only one that gets light from a grow light is my Pictum Tricolor because that one is a little bit finicky, but the rest literally live in darkness. They're not complaining, they're still growing. I underwatered them numerous times and they are still some of the most beautiful plants in my collection, and they just add such a nice jungly vibe. I don't know. I'm looking at my Silver Bay and that plant just brings me so much joy. So yeah, A tier for Aglaonemas. I kept the best and probably most controversial for last. Next up, we're talking about Anthuriums, and Anthuriums are still like the hot topic. They're still the cool kid on the block. However, in my opinion, they're just meh. I like them. I really do like them. I think they have a really cool growth pattern. I think it's really amazing how they start off as the tiny little plant and they can get huge. So I like that aspect of them, and there are so many varieties. However, that being said, a lot of them look the same. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but there is too many freaking crystallinum hybrids and they all look the same. Oh, I don't know. But I do like Anthuriums. There's a lot of Anthuriums that I love. I love my Clarinervium. I love the Pallidiflorum. I love the Wendelingeri. I love a Forgetii. I love a Warraquianum. So there is variety within the genus. I'm not gonna say that all of them look the same, but most of these hybrids kind of do look the same. Like all the Papillilaminum hybrids do kind of look the same. I don't know, y'all. And also the price. I just cannot get behind the price of these plants. Like I do not know who has the money to fork out like $400, $500, $600 for a plant. Like, could not be me. Could not be me. And I would not pay more than $100 for a plant. And it would have to be a really, really special plant. Like $50 is like, ooh, okay, we're pushing it. But like, I don't know, these people, they're crazy. And I understand that they are, you know, mostly collectors or like breeders, so they buy them for selling purposes and they earn that money back. But to me, I don't know. I guess it's kind of a different mindset because I am not in this hobby for the money. I'm not in this hobby for breeding or like cross-pollinating or creating my own hybrids. I don't really care about that. I just want to enjoy my plants and my space and have like a lush plant-filled room. So to me, that doesn't seem appealing. And also, some Anthuriums are really, really difficult. Like the Warraquianum, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like that plant just doesn't want to live. That plant just doesn't want to live. So I cannot rank them higher than C. But I will say that they are beautiful. Like a really, really healthy Anthurium is just really, really beautiful. So while yes, I do really like the genus, there's just also so many problems there. There are so many problems there and I cannot rank them higher than C. So C it is for Anthuriums. And last but not least are Philodendrons. And again, if you've been on this channel for any amount of time, you know my feelings about Philodendrons. And girl, they're in danger. They're in the D tier because oh my God. Oh my, Philodendrons. They make me mad. They make me mad because in theory, they are gorgeous. They are beautiful. There is so much variety. You have your trailers, you have your climbers, you have your shiny leaves, you have your velvet leaves, you have them big, you have them small, you have everything. However, they can be a pain in the ass. They can be a royal pain because some of them are just so difficult. I will say, again, obviously, some of them tend to be very easy. In particular, like the self-heading ones and the like normal shiny leaved plants, those are pretty easy on the whole, but also I find those kind of boring. So I'm talking more about the climbers, the velvet plants, you know, the more interesting ones. Those are quite difficult. Your Milano, your Verrucosum, your, what's another difficult Philodendron? El Choco is difficult for me. Like there is just so many that are quite difficult. Above all that, they are a pest magnet. I had the most amount of pest pressure on Philodendrons. Like no other plant in my collection had as many pests as Philodendrons. Like they are just magnets, whether it be spider mites, whether it be aphids, whether it be freaking thrips. Like they are just magnets for pests and I am so tired of it. I'm so tired of it. And most of them are climbers, so if you want to like bring out the full potential in them, they do require a moss pull, which is then obviously a lot more work. I don't know. I'm not here for it. There obviously are particular plants within that genus that I love. I love the El Guapo, I love the Splendid. I mean, hell, I love the Milano and I love the Verrucosum, but I just have such a difficult time with them. And I feel like Philodendrons, it's just that genus that is that drives me insane. It drives me insane. And oh my God, don't get me, oh my God, I forgot about that. I forgot about the stuck leaves. Don't get me started on the stuck leaves. When they do the little Cinderella thing, I'm like, girl, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, this is insanity. Oh my God, the stuck leaves. I cannot with the stuck leaves. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop yelling. I swear to God, I'm gonna stop yelling. I just get so passionate. But yeah, Philodendrons. I can't. No. D tier, D tier. And they can be happy about the D tier, okay? Because I have made my point clear that I am not a fan of philodendrons and that they drive me insane. So they can be happy with the D tier placement, honestly. Like, honestly, the way they behave in my collection, like, they should all be flying out the window, if I'm being completely honest. But there are some exceptions because, again, some of them are beautiful and I cannot bring myself to get rid of them, but yeah. Once again, please let me know in the comment section below how you would rank these plant genuses. And also please include any plant genuses that I haven't included. I know I haven't talked about succulents, I haven't talked about cacti, I haven't talked about begonias, just because I don't have a lot of those plants in my collection. So I didn't want to include those in the ranking. Also, let me know if you would like to see a video where I actually show you some of my favorite and least favorite plants from each genus. I think that would be a really fun video, so chime down below if that sounds good to you. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and turn on those notifications so you're notified about every new video. And I hope to see you next time. Have a super amazing, fabulous, gorgeous, lovely, beautiful day, and goodbye. Okay, that was so much talking. My throat.